How everyone's always looking ahead, chasing some glittering promise just over the horizon, while everything real, everything raw, everything that actually matters is slipping right through their fingers. They rush through their days like rats in a maze, eyes glued to the finish line, hearts pumping with panic, never once stopping to realize the walls are closing in. They're so busy dreaming about tomorrow, so obsessed with escaping today. They don't even notice the ground cracking under their feet. They don't hear the clock ticking louder, the walls whispering warnings. They're too distracted, too drunk on distractions, missing the blood-red truth that's happening right now, right in front of their blind, desperate eyes. They walk around like everything's fine, like the ground beneath them isn't rotting away, like the air they're breathing isn't getting thicker with the stench of their own ignorance. It's almost funny the way they pretend not to see it, as if closing their eyes tight enough could stop the cracks from spreading, stop the walls from closing in. They think if they keep smiling, keep posting their perfect little pictures and chanting their hollow little mantras, they'll be safe. They won't. And deep down, somewhere in the part of their mind they locked away, they know it. You see it every day. That glazed look in their eyes, that tightness in their smiles, that tiny hitch in their step when they think no one's watching. It's all right there, written in every nervous laugh, every fake "I'm fine," every desperate sprint toward the next meaningless distraction. They are drowning in slow motion, and they don't even realize it. They call it ambition, progress, hustle. Cute words for a death march. They convince themselves it's all part of the plan, that the suffering means something, that if they just keep pushing a little harder, they'll finally arrive somewhere that doesn't feel like hell. They don't notice the little things at first, the conversations that feel emptier, the nights that feel longer, the mornings that feel heavier, the moments when they're surrounded by people but feel more alone than if they were locked in a padded cell. They brush it off, blame it on a bad day, a bad week, a bad season. They never stop to ask why the bad days are the only days they know anymore. They never stop to ask why. Every dream they chase leaves them feeling more hollow, more broken, more desperate for something they can't even name. The world crumbles quietly at first. It doesn't start with explosions and screams. It starts with whispers, with cracks in the foundation, with small betrayals you shrug off because it's easier than facing what they really mean. You tell yourself you're just tired, that everyone feels this way, that it's normal to live a life you secretly despise. And while you're busy telling yourself these pretty little lies, the real damage is happening, the kind you can't undo with a weekend getaway or a new distraction. The kind that eats you from the inside out. Most of them will never see it until it's too late, until the ground splits open beneath them and the life they built on sand swallows them whole. They'll scream and cry and rage against the unfairness of it all, never once admitting they were the ones who chose blindness. They had chances, they had warnings, but comfort tasted sweeter than truth, so they looked away again and again and again. They didn't want to see it. And now, they can't. You think the signs aren't obvious, you think the decay isn't loud. It's deafening if you have the guts to listen. It's in the way your chest tightens when you think about tomorrow. It's in the way you dread getting out of bed more and more each morning. It's in the way your laughter feels forced and your victories feel hollow. It's in the way you chase things you don't even want, just because slowing down means facing the emptiness you're so terrified to admit is there. You're not too busy. You're not too tired. You're running. You're running from the fact that the life you're killing yourself for isn't the life you ever really wanted. You're running from the truth that somewhere along the way, you traded your soul for a checklist. And you're terrified to stop because if you do, even for a second, the whole rotten structure might collapse. You're right. It will. But maybe that's not the tragedy you think it is. Maybe that's the first real thing that's happened to you in years. They want you blind because blind people are easier to control. Blind people don't ask hard questions. Blind people don't start fires. Blind people don't realize they're chained until it's too late. So they flood you with noise, with flashing lights and endless entertainment and shallow validation and anything to keep you from looking too closely at the crumbling world they've built around you. Anything to keep you docile, distracted, drowning with a smile on your face. And you sit there, feeling that itch under your skin, that gnawing in your gut that tells you something is wrong, something is missing, something is screaming at you to wake up. You hear it in your dreams. You feel it in the pit of your stomach when the world gets too quiet. You know, you've always known, you just forgot for a while because forgetting was easier, because pretending was safer. But deep down, you know the truth isn't going anywhere. It's still there, waiting for you, laughing at you, daring you to open your damn eyes and finally see what's been happening right in front of you all along. It's almost poetic, really, the way people drown in their own lives without even knowing they're sinking. The water starts out calm, the current barely noticeable, like a whisper in the wind. And then they start swimming harder, trying to outrun the reality they can feel creeping up behind them. They tell themselves they're fine. They tell themselves they've got time. But the clock is ticking, and every second they waste pretending they're not already in over their heads, they slip a little further beneath the surface. And the worst part? They don't even realize it's happening. There's this comforting lie we all buy into, isn't there? That as long as we keep moving forward, as long as we keep chasing the next thing, the next goal, the next success, we'll be fine. We'll be happy. We'll have made it. We tell ourselves we'll be safe. Safe from the pain, safe from the chaos, safe from the emptiness that lurks behind closed doors and in the silence of a quiet room when we've run out of distraction. We keep busy, we keep moving, and we keep pretending, because pretending is easier. Pretending keeps the monsters at bay, but pretending doesn't save you from what's really coming. You hear it in their voices, in the way they talk about their dreams like they're something far away, something out of reach. The dreamers, the hopeful ones, always looking past the moment they're living in because they think it's just a waiting room for the good stuff to happen. They're waiting for permission, waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to hand them the answer on a silver platter, without realizing the only thing they're waiting for is the moment when they blink and the world they've ignored has already swallowed them whole. The truth? No one's coming to save them, not a single soul. because the world doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't care if you're waiting for the right time. It doesn't care if you've got all the answers. The world only cares if you're alive enough to fight for what you want, if you're awake enough to see it before it disappears. And the ones who get caught in the mess, the ones who drown in their own lives, they keep reaching for things they don't even understand. Things they think they want because everyone else does. They chase after dreams that were never really theirs. They run from their own fears instead of facing them, hoping they can outrun the truth, hoping they can keep the real world at arm's length, and all the while, life is slipping through their fingers. They don't see it because they're too busy looking ahead, too busy running towards something that might not even exist. They're so busy chasing the next big thing that they miss everything that's happening right now. They miss the people who love them, the moments that could change their life if they just stop long enough to see them. They miss the warning signs that everything is already falling apart and the ground is shifting beneath their feet. They're too busy, too distracted, too focused on the wrong things. It's a strange kind of numbness, this life they lead. They say they want happiness, success, love, all the things that make life worth living. But they don't even know what those things really are. They think they do, but they don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't be trapped in this cycle of chasing after things that don't satisfy. Things that only distract them from the reality that they're empty inside. The dreams they chase, the things they think will make them happy, are just shiny distractions to keep them from having to confront what's really missing, the empty space in their heart that they're terrified to look at. The fear that if they stop running, if they stop chasing, if they stop pretending to have it all figured out, they'll have to face the truth about who they really are. And they can't do that, not yet. Not until the world forces them to. Not until it all falls apart and they have no choice but to see themselves for the first time in years. So they keep running, they keep pretending, they keep pushing forward like it's all working. They tell themselves it's fine, that they're fine, but they're not. And deep down they know it. They can feel it, the gnawing emptiness that follows them wherever they go. The constant reminder that no matter how fast they run, they can't outrun themselves. The truth is, the more they run, the further they get from the life they really want. The more they drown, the harder it becomes to even remember what it feels like to be alive. Because when you're too busy chasing after something that isn't real, you forget how to breathe. You forget how to live. You forget what it's like to feel the ground beneath your feet and the wind in your hair. You forget what it's like to be present. And that's when they miss it. That's when they miss the life they could have had, the life that's happening right in front of them, while they're too busy looking somewhere else, too busy running from something they can't even define. They miss it because they weren't paying attention. They missed it because they thought they had all the time in the world. But the truth is and one day when it's too late, you'll look back and realize you were so caught up in running away from everything that really mattered that you missed it all. And by then, it'll be gone, just like that. It's almost laughable when you think about it. You can feel it creeping in, that discomfort, that gnawing sensation deep in your gut. You know it's there, but you keep pushing it away, don't you? You tell yourself it's just a phase, or I'll figure it out later. But you're just fooling yourself. You're hoping that ignoring it will make it go away, that somehow you'll wake up one day and it'll all be better. But that's not how this works. The truth is, it's been right under your nose the entire time, and you've been too blind to see it. It's always been there, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for you to face it. But you won't, will you? You'll keep running, keep pretending because the alternative is too frightening to consider. You've convinced yourself that you're doing all right, that the endless grind is what you're supposed to be doing, that the hustle is the answer to everything. Everyone says it. They say you have to keep moving, keep pushing, keep grinding, keep sacrificing. The hustle never stops. But they don't tell you what happens when you get so caught up in the madness, when you're so focused on the goal, that you don't even see the wreckage you've created along the way, the broken relationships, the forgotten moments, the parts of yourself you've abandoned just to keep moving forward. They don't tell you that by chasing the future, you miss the present, and before you know it, the present is gone, just like that. Blink, and it's over. You're too busy running forward to realize the ground beneath you is crumbling. It's easy to ignore the warning signs when you're so busy focusing on the finish line. After all, it's what everyone tells you to do, right? Focus on the prize. Chase the dream. But when the prize becomes your only focus, when the dream is the only thing you care about, you lose sight of everything else that truly matters. You lose sight of what's happening right in front of you, the people around you, the life you've been living, the things that have been slipping away little by little because you were too busy looking ahead. The truth is, by the time you realize what's happening, you'll be standing on the edge of the cliff, looking down at everything you've sacrificed, everything you've lost, and wondering where it all went wrong. But you won't see it, will you? No. You'll be too busy blaming the world for your misery, blaming the people around you, blaming anyone but yourself. You'll tell yourself that you didn't have a choice, that you were just doing what you had to do. And maybe you were. Maybe you were doing what everyone told you was the right thing. Maybe you were doing what you thought you had to do to survive. But that doesn't make it right, and it certainly doesn't mean you've been living the life you were meant to live. No, instead, you've been living a life dictated by the expectations of others, a life dictated by fear, by the fear of missing out, the fear of failure, the fear of being left behind. You've been running from yourself, running from the truth, running from the one thing that could set you free, your own reality. It's all part of the game, you know. They want you distracted. They want you focused on the chase, on the illusion of progress. Because when you're chasing something, you're not paying attention to what's happening around you. They want you to stay in the loop. They want you to keep spinning your wheels, keep grinding, keep working, because that's how they keep you under control. As long as you're chasing, you won't stop to wonder if it's all just a lie. They want you to stay numb. They want you to stay asleep, because when you wake up, when you finally stop long enough to see what's been happening, the truth is unavoidable. But you're not ready for that. No, you're not ready to face it. You're not ready to admit that all this time you've been running in the wrong direction, chasing things that don't matter, ignoring the things that do. You're not ready to admit that the life you've been living, the hustle, the grind, the endless pursuit of more, has been hollow all along. That's the real kicker, isn't it? All this time you thought you were making progress, thought you were building something meaningful. But what you've really been doing is digging your own grave, one shallow, frantic breath at a time. You've been running in circles, chasing an illusion, thinking it's going to make you happy. But you've been too afraid to stop and ask yourself if it ever will. Too afraid to face the one truth that could change everything. That all of this, all of it, is meaningless if you're not living it for yourself. That's the cruel joke they don't want you to see. They want you to believe that what they're offering is enough. They want you to believe that their version of success is the only one that matters. But the real question is, do you even want it? Do you even want what they're selling? Or have you been too busy running to even stop and ask? It's not just a matter of missing out. No, it's a matter of losing yourself in the process. Losing the very thing that makes you who you are. The person you were before all of this. The one who could have been happy. The one who could have found peace. The one who could have lived. But you won't see it, not until it's too late. Until you're so far down the rabbit hole that the light up above feels like a distant memory. And when that happens, when you realize you've missed everything, when you finally stop running and look back at the wreckage, you'll have no one to blame but yourself. It's almost sad, you know, the way people walk through life like they've got all the time in the world. They move, they breathe, they smile, they pretend. They think it'll all work out in the end. They think they'll wake up one day and everything will fall into place. They think they have control. And that's the real joke, isn't it? That's the punchline that no one sees coming, because while they're busy pretending they know how it's all going to play out, life is quietly slipping through their fingers. They're not even looking, too busy waiting for the perfect moment, too busy putting off everything that matters. And then one day they blink and everything is different. Everything is gone. And they're left standing there wondering where it all went wrong. But the truth is, it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't one grand mistake that ruined everything. No, it's the little things, the missed opportunities, the things you didn't say, the things you didn't do, the risks you didn't take. It's the constant delay, the waiting for tomorrow, when tomorrow isn't promised. It's the lie you've been living, thinking you're safe because you're just waiting for the right moment. But you've been waiting so long that the moment has passed you by. You know, they say time heals all wounds. But that's just another one of those comforting little lies people tell themselves so they can sleep at night. Time doesn't heal anything. It just moves forward, indifferent to your pain, your regrets, your fears. It just keeps moving. And you're either moving with it or you're getting left behind. You can't stop it. You can't control it. No amount of wishing, no amount of planning, no amount of hoping will make time stand still for you. It's not going to wait for you to get ready. It's not going to give you another shot at doing what you should have done. And the longer you wait, the further you fall behind. The further you push everything aside, the more it slips away from your reach. The truth is, You've been wasting precious time thinking it's an unlimited resource when it's anything but. And the worst part, you've been so caught up in your own bubble that you don't even realize what's happening. You don't see how much you've already lost. You don't see how much time you've already thrown away, how much you've already let slip through your fingers. You're not paying attention. You're too busy following the script everyone else has handed you, too busy trying to meet someone else's expectation. You think you're building something, but what you're really doing is putting up walls around yourself. Walls to keep everyone out. Walls to protect yourself from the real world. But those walls don't protect you, do they? No, they trap you. They keep you inside, safe from the world, but also safe from the things that really matter. They keep you from moving forward. They keep you from growing. And you've been hiding behind those walls so long that you don't even know who you are anymore. You don't even know what you want. You don't even know what you're capable of. All because you've been too scared to face it. Too scared to look at the truth. And while you've been hiding, while you've been playing it safe, the world has kept moving without you. And you think you've got all the time in the world to make it right. You think you can just keep going, keep pushing, keep pretending that everything is fine, that it's all under control, but it's not. And deep down, you know it. You know that the longer you wait, the harder it gets. The longer you put off what needs to be done, the more it eats away at you. The more the weight of your own inaction drags you down. You think you're just standing still, waiting for the right moment. But all you're really doing is sinking deeper and deeper into a life you didn't choose, into a future you didn't want. And it's all your fault. Because you've been too busy waiting for the stars to align, too busy hoping that someone else will come along and fix everything for you. But no one's coming. No one's gonna give you permission. No one's gonna tell you when it's the right time. You're the one who has to make that decision. You're the one who has to wake up and realize that the moment you've been waiting for is already here. It's always been here, but you've been too blind to see it. The reality is, you can't keep running from this. You can't keep pretending that everything is fine. You can't keep ignoring the fact that you've been standing still, waiting for something to happen, when it's already happening all around you. The world is moving, the clock is ticking, and you're just stuck in the past, stuck in this never-ending cycle of, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't exist. It never has. It's just a dream, a false hope you've been clinging to, hoping that if you just wait long enough, it'll all make sense. But it won't. Because the only way for it to make sense is for you to step up and take control. The only way for you to finally stop wasting your time is to realize that you've been wasting it this whole time. That every second you spend waiting is a second you'll never get back. That every moment you spend hiding, pretending, is a moment you could have been living, really living, in the here and now. You want the truth? You're running out of time. You're running out of chances. And if you keep waiting for the world to hand you everything on a silver platter, you'll be waiting forever. It's not coming. It's never going to come. The only thing that's going to change your life is you. And you've already wasted too much time pretending otherwise.